Hey, what is up you guys, this is Nacho here and welcome back to a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare video. In today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how I personally rank up really fast. You guys seem to have enjoyed or really enjoyed my Blood Anvil how to rank up fast videos, so I figured I'd do a general video topic on how I rank up and prestige so fast. Following these methods you'll probably be able to prestige once every 24 hours of game time. If you kind of are a similar player to me, usually I average around 1 prestige every like 18 or so hours of actual in-game time, so I hope this will actually help you guys out along the way. But let's actually get into the video. First things first, man, if you have any Mark II variants, you want to use those as much as possible. Simply put, it gives you 15% more XP, which might not seem like that much, but over time it helps a lot. And I know it's somewhat difficult to want to use a Mark II weapon. For example, let's say you have an MV4 Chaos and then you have like an MV4 Mark II Exalted. You know, obviously most people want to use the Chaos because it's the epic variant, but try to refrain from using it as much as possible. You want to try to stick to Mark IIs. Refrain from using the Chaos and go to that Exalted, if that makes any sense. The 15% XP isn't really that much of a boost, and you'll notice it game in and game out. You'll have slightly more XP every single game, but what'll happen is the more games you're playing, the more XP you're actually stacking in the long run. One game might not seem like a lot, but think about how many games it'll take you to actually prestige. 200, 300 maybe? And if you're using a Mark II weapon every single game you played, those 200 games, well, you're getting 15% extra XP just by playing the game and using a certain gun you unlocked out of the Quartermaster. Second thing I wanted to touch on was prestige. Prestiging is so key to getting more XP. Reason being, once you hit the master prestiges in this game, you just start stacking all your prestige bonuses. And once you hit prestige 11 in this game, you automatically get a 25% challenge bonus, which means every challenge you complete in the game while you're master prestige 11 and above, you automatically get 25%, which is an extra 1/4 of XP no matter what challenge it is, which is pretty nice. Also, once you keep going up through the prestiges of the master prestige ranks, that is, you start to unlock upgrades to your Mark II variants. Now, most of us know that the Mark II variants only give you 15% extra XP. Well, once you start hitting extra prestiges, I think when I hit 13th, you get a 30% bonus to your assault rifles, and then when you hit another prestige, you'll become submachine guns, shotguns, light machine guns, and it'll just go down the ladder. So important thing for ranking up, the higher prestige you go, the actual easier it becomes, if that makes any sense. The next thing I wanted to touch on was your kill streaks. You want to run kill streaks that will be supportive for your team. What do I mean by this? You want to run kill streaks that you can get consistently because you will in turn get more score. I personally most of the time run a UAV, a counter UAV, and a vulture. So literally I have hardline, so I have 4, 5, 6 kills to get all my streaks, and I cycle those all game. What you'll come to realize is if you're playing with at least a decent team or at least a couple of other of your friends, when you have a UAV and a counter UAV up in the sky, you're literally going to be getting 20 points every kill your team gets because your UAV gives you a 10% UAV assist and your counter UAV also gives you another 10 points. So when you have both of those up in the air, you automatically get 20 points every kill your teammate gets for like the next 30 seconds, and that helps a lot, trust me. The vulture helps just because it's easy to watch your back. You don't need to run a vulture. I just run it because it makes it easier to cycle your things. What I'm trying to get at is you want to get a high score per minute. You're better off running these lower streaks like the UAV counter and vulture as opposed to running, you know, a Warden, advanced UAV, and RC8, because chances are you're not going to get your whole set of streaks every single game unless you're a god tier player, which, you know, if you are, round of applause, but most of us aren't, including myself. You know, I'm an average player. So if you are an average player just like me, I definitely recommend you lower your streaks. I use UAV, counter, and vulture. If I were you guys can run UAV, drone package, and counter UAV because I know a lot of people really like the care package. Another thing that's going to help you rank up along the way is you want to play game modes that are fast paced. I kind of touched on this on my Blood Anvil video, but it also makes sense for this video. You know, just looking at it from a standpoint of what game type you're playing, a TDM can last anywhere from 5 minutes on a regular basis to 10 minutes on a long game, whereas if you were playing Search and Destroy or Domination, yeah, you might be getting more XP in that game, but that same game is going to last you anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and I've actually played Search and Destroys before that last 20 minutes because it goes the full rounds to the last round, down to the wire, and you don't really get that much XP. You know, at the end of the game after the 20 minutes, you might have a buttload of XP, but when you really divide it, let's say if you were playing TDM, that would have been 4 games, your TDM score would have way outweighed what that S&D match was. So you want to stick to game game modes that end relatively quick. One thing that I really like to do is just play a lot of team deathmatch. I would say play free-for-all because it ends so fast, but I've come to realize that free-for-all only gives you 3,000, maybe 4,000 XP if you just win every single time. And if you're using a Mark II, you might get 5,000, 6,000, but it's really not worth it in free-for-all. I would recommend just sticking to TDM and trying to do fast game modes, because if you're doing search and destroy or domination, yeah, search and destroy getting 500 points a kill, but how many kills are you getting every round? Maybe 1 to 2, and it really is not worth it for all the time you put into the game. Next thing I wanted to touch on was your secondary weapon. Now, I personally use a Sparta in most of my classes. Probably more than half of my classes have a launcher secondary, and the reason I have this on is because you want to shoot down as many score streaks your enemy gets as possible. Every UAV you should shoot down, every counter UAV you shoot down, you get 75 points. If you destroy wardens, I believe you get 150, maybe 125, don't quote me on that. All the higher streaks give you around 100, 150, and that stacks towards your score for prestiging, you know, your in-game XP, and it also stacks for you getting your kill streaks. You want to know what's the best thing about running a launcher? When you're about 50 points off of your next kill streak, whether it be a UAV or a warden, and the enemy team calls in a counter UAV or an award or a UAV, you just look up into the sky with your Sparta, shoot it down right away, and bam, you get your score streak from their score streak, and then you're just stacking assist points off of that. And last but not least, I figured I should just mention this. You gotta use things you're comfortable with. Reason is, you'll just naturally get more kills. You're better off using an MV4 or a K-bar, an ERAD, guns like that, as opposed to using, you know, something like an EBR 800. You don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage as opposed to everybody else, because you already know half of the people in the lobby are either going to be running MV4 or K-bar, so you might as well try to go in with the same weapons. You know, if you use the K-bar or the MV4, you're basically securing yourself a safety net that you'll get a decent amount of kills, whereas opposed if you're using an EBR or let's say a KBS, you might get outgunned a couple times, get a couple more deaths, and not get as many kills. So all in all, if you're using the MV4, you get 20 kills this game. You use the KBS, you get 8 kills the next game. Which game do you think you get more XP in? The game you got 20 kills in or 8 kills in? You know, it's just simple XP. All you gotta think about is just how you can stack as much XP. All in all, I hope you guys took some decent information from this video. The most important thing I can tell you is just use your Mark II variants to your advantage, run low kill streaks, and play fast game modes. The Sparta secondary is God mode. Trust me, I love shooting people's stuff down because it gets them so mad and it's so annoying. Trust me, because I hate when people are shooting down my kill streaks. But I hope these tips helped you guys out. If you guys want to see more quick tips or more tips on how to do stuff in Infinite Warfare, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below what you guys would like to see next. But as always, my name is Papa Nacho. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Nacho Nation.